I want to think about Lee Rigby. I want to think about little Saffe Rose. Two people who were brutally murdered by Islamist terrorists. Lee Rigby, 11 years ago. And I'm not going to go into the graphic detail of what happened to Lee Rigby. We all know. I'm not going to go into the graphic detail of what happened to little Saffe, because we know what happened. We know about the brutality. But I want to ask some questions. I want to ask why, when these innocent, this is the important thing, British citizens, one of them, Lee Rigby, a hero, he'd fought for the country. He'd gone out, put his life on the line for the country in Afghanistan. Saffe was an 8-year-old girl. She had no idea about politics, about religion, about any of it. But those two lives were snuffed out by fanatics. Two of those fanatics are in prison now, still alive. And that says a lot about the way the British legal system works. Because to me, those sort of heinous offences should be punished with a death sentence. If there's absolutely no doubt that those people carried out those attacks and they did them with malicious intent, and you've got the evidence, I believe they should be put to death because of the blood that they spilled. But what's changed? That's why many of us got into the movement in 2017. And I'm ashamed, actually. I must admit, I'm ashamed that I didn't get involved in the movement when Lee Rigby was murdered, because he was a soldier. He was one of the brothers. He'd served. He'd done the same things that I'd done and other people. He was a hero, he was a soldier, he was a husband, and he was a dad. And that family's torn apart. Those wounds don't heal. People think that wounds heal quickly. They don't. That family is still suffering because of what those maniacs did, because of their twisted, perverse beliefs and ideology. And yet, here we are in 2024, we are less able to talk about the root cause of what caused those men to attack Lee Rigby and kill him. And I'm not going to go into how they killed him, but we can talk about it less now than we did then. We can talk about it less now than we did in 2017. On social media and on YouTube channels, we can't even mention the roots of this problem. And that is frightening. Things have gone the other way. Instead of being able to talk very openly about what happened, we have to talk in hushed tones. We have to talk in code, or else we'll be silenced. Many of us were already silenced in 2018. We lost Facebook accounts. We lost Twitter accounts. Some people lost YouTube accounts for nothing other than taking a stand against the ideology that caused that. And I'm now very careful what I say. And I speak in coded terms, but everybody knows what I mean. So what is the solution to this problem? And what I'm going to say, and the direction I've been going in for the last few months is very different to what I was thinking. Well, in some ways it's different, but in some ways it isn't. I think what we've got to do, the great British people, this silent majority, and I still believe there's a silent majority, we've got to live our lives in a way that shames the devil. We've got to live our lives in a way that shames the evil, perverse ideologies of what I call the great army of darkness. We've got to live by the law of love. They live by the law of hate. We've got to live showing how much we love everybody. They'll live by showing how much they hate everybody. That great army of darkness. And you know what it is? I keep saying it, and I'm going to keep saying it. It's the globalists. It's the fascists. It's the communists. And it's the Islamists. That is what comprises the great army of darkness. And we have an ideology that is better and purer and more righteous than theirs will ever be. And that's what we need to get back to. We need to get back to real British values. I've been talking about it, and I'll be talking about it tomorrow night with Paul Thorpe. I had a great conversation with Paul yesterday. We were chatting for, the time just went, so it might be a long, when I do a podcast with Paul, it might go on for some time. But what a great guy. And again, I've been learning from watching his videos and watching the way he does things. And he was saying to me, I want to learn from you and what you've done. I was going, hold on, brother. I need to learn off you. You're the one with over 100,000 viewers on your channel. We're getting subscription envy. Anyway, but we've got to do this right. We're only going to get one chance at this. We're only going to get one chance at saving this country peacefully. That's what I believe. I think we've just heard the election announced. It's very likely that the Conservative Party are going to get completely tanked and wiped out. I know a lot of people saying that's a good thing. I don't think it is a good thing, because that means you have a massive Labour majority. You have the Islamists in there, and there are Islamists in the Labour Party. You have the communists in there. There are communists in the Labour Party. You have the wokerati. You have the cultural Marxists that want to split everybody up into these little groups, put black against white, white against black, Christian against Muslim, and so on and so forth. That's what cultural Marxism does. It splits people up into groups and pits them against each other so they can control you. That's what that is about. And we've got to stand against that. And, I keep going back to this. And I said it in a video earlier on in the week, and I know a lot of people aren't going to like it. I don't really care anymore. I'm not here to please people. I'm here to tell you what I believe to be the truth. And there's those... The law of love is very simple. You love God and you love everybody else. You love your neighbour as yourself. Does that mean you turn over and let people use you as a punch bag? Not at all. Not at all. But it means you treat people like you would want to be treated. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And if we start living by that rule in our movement, and we start helping each other and caring for each other, and doing good to each other. And I have spent a lot of time not doing that. And I personally want to change, and I'm sure everybody that's listening would agree with those sentiments. So what we need to do is we need to have a better ideology, and we need to build a mass movement that everyone will want to join, because look at the way they behave, look at how they get on, look at how well they behave. Look at how good they are. Look at what they're doing. Look at how they're trying to help people. Look at how they're caring for each other. That's the sort of movement that I want to be a part of. And would be a great tribute to little Saffe Rose, little girl, 8 years old, murdered by a vile scumbag. Lee Rigby, a soldier, a hero, a husband and a father, struck down in his prime by those vile, disgusting monsters. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I believe people like that should get the death penalty for what they've done. It's not on the statute book, and obviously laws would have to be changed, but that's what I believe. Anyway, that's what we've got to do. We've got to start treating each other with respect. And we've got to start living out the law of love as much as we possibly can. Think tonight, after you watch this video, I want you to just spend some time thinking about Lee. Think about his family. That little boy's growing up now without a dad because of that ideology. And the only way to defeat a bad ideology is to have a better ideology. Think about Saffe. Think about Lee. I'll see you all soon.